of the piano. The piano is perhaps the world's best-known musical instrument. Its sound is easy to recognize no matter what type of music is being played. The piano did not always sound the way it does today, though in fact the piano's ancestors had very different sounds. The first widely used keyboard was clavichord. This European instrument was first used in the 4000s. As with many 14,000s, as with many other early instruments, its inventor is unknown. It was a long wooden box with different limbs stretched inside the soundboard. They beneath the string soundboard vibrate with the strings to help project the tunes. The clavichord would be 122 to 213 centimeters. When the player pressed a key, a tiny brass blade on a wooden lever hits a string. This made the tone. How loud the tone was depended on how hard the player pressed the key. Still, because of its design, clavichord was not very loud. For that reason, people only play the instrument in homes. The harpsichord was first used in the 15,000s. It came in different shapes and sizes that look very much like today's piano. However, it works differently from both the clavichord and the piano. When the player presses a key, a lever with a quill at the end plugged rather than tuck a string. This made it sound more like a harp than a piano. Keyboard instruments of its day, it was louder than clavichord, but it had a problem. Players could not control or change the volume no matter how hard or soft they pressed the key. The modern piano. Bartolomeo Stradivari made keyboard instruments in the early 17,000s. He wanted to change the harpsichord score to the volume could be controlled. To do this, Carvesor had to make the instrument work more like a clavichord. The strings need to be hit, not plucked. Carvesor changed the mechanism of the instruments and how it worked. First, he switched from a quill to a hammer. The hammer was covered in leather to create a better sound. When the player pressed a key, the hammer hits a string below, and the player released the key. Another part called a damper came down to rest on the string. The damper stopped to the string from vibrating and the notes. This design made it possible to hit strings hard or touch and gently. Players could now produce both loud and soft notes. Christopher had his instrument pianoforte, a name a name made up of Italian words of soft and loud in the time. The name became just piano. Other instruments makers added to Carrefour's design. One of the Germany's Silbermann showed his version of the piano to the famous composer John Sweet Beach had written many pieces of the harpsichord and didn't think much of Silbermann's instrument. This made Silbermann so upset that he destroyed it with an axe. Pianos everywhere. It took a while for European musicians to accept the piano entirely. Beach grew too. Like the instruments, other famous composers such as Haydn and Mozart wrote many pieces of piano, but the late 70,000s Europeans want to hear more piano music. Changes made the piano improve in big music halls. The hammers were covered in felt instead of leather. The softer felt creates a rich, warm tone. Keyboard also grew from 54 keys to 88. When wing-shaped grand pianos became longer and larger to provide space for the air strings. Metal samples replaced wooden ones and gave strings a poorer sound. At first, all pianos were grand pianos. By the 19th century, however, pianos were very popular in Europe and North America. To keep up with demand, companies began making smaller, less expensive pianos. More people were then able to buy pianos that fit in their homes. As more and more pianos are sold, people begin to play different types of piano music. For example, African Americans sing and play gospel songs on the piano. They also began experimenting with new styles of music. They led the birth of ragtime, a jazzy form of music written just for piano. Modern versions. When recorded music came along in the early 20th century, piano sales dropped. People could listen to piano music in their homes without having to own or play a piano. Piano makers make up with a new way to make pianos more attractive to buyers. They built self-playing pianos. This instrument had a mechanical device that was pumped by foot pedals at the bottom of the piano. The device held rolls of paper, holes punched, and the roll paper caused notes on the piano to play by themselves when the pedals were pumped. Anyone could now play the piano, no lesson needed. Digital versions of self-playing pianos appeared in the 1980s. A person could choose an electric flower and then press a button. The piano keys would move on their own while the music played. The digital pianos could be played like a regular piano. The 88 keys were hard to just feel like notes on the regular piano. The digital piano sounds and feels like a piano, but it's lighter and cheaper. By contrast, the the keys of digital keyboards are not weighted. The most popular size only has 61 keys. However, these keyboards are light, sturdy, and easy to move from place to place. Some traveling bands use them. Many digital keyboards can produce sound of other instruments, such as trumpets or flutes. Some keyboards can make sound effects, such as a chirping bird with just the touch of a key. Case 4 could be amazed at the sounds coming from the newest versions of his invention, whether it's a digital keyboard or a concert screenload. The piano remains one of the most popular instruments around.